Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy. Do you want to improve the sound of your stock BMW M2? I'll show you how. All right, guys, so let's talk about this project a little bit and the reasons why you might want to do this yourself. Now, I've got this just beautiful G87 M2 today that we're going to be installing the Evolution Racewerks midpipe. Now, the new G87 is a fantastic car. Tons of features, tons of technology, but one of the most common criticisms I hear about this car is it's just a little bit quiet for an M car. Well, one of the best ways to fix that is actually dropping out your mid-pipes, which has a mid-body series of cats and some resonators, and which really does quiet the car down quite a bit, regardless of what mode you're in. So a fantastic way to improve that are mid-pipes. Now, the Evolution Racewerks mid-pipes are brand new. It's a very cool product for them, and I'm gonna walk you through the install of this. It really isn't all that hard, and you're just gonna need a few simple tools that I always have listed in the video description below. Now, I'm always gonna say this in every project that we do with the car up in the air like I do right now. So make sure you're on a flat and level surface. If you're using a jack, use jack stands as well. Please don't bet your life on a 50-cent part. I've seen jacks fail. I've seen cars come down. Car comes down, that's a bummer. If you're underneath it, it's a really bad day, okay? So you can always check out Quickjacks. I've got a set of them myself. I got a video about it. It's really, really cool. Check those out. So before you get your car in the air, make sure you do it in a safe way. So when we jump underneath, I'm gonna walk you through where we're going to cut the existing mid-pipe. So let's jump into the car. Let's get started.
All right, y'all, so this is really simple. So we're underneath the car. This is the back of the car, of course, back here on this end. And BMW very nicely puts dimples on your exhaust. So if you've never seen it before, there are actually 3 sets of dimples. 1, 2, 3. We're going to be cutting right at the middle dimple. Now, the trick to this, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's hooked up, is you actually want to take a hose clamp. So take a wide hose clamp, just unhook it, put it around the pipe, cinch it down, and then use a pen or a pencil and mark at the hose clamp. And that way, you get a good clean line all the way around. Now, I highly recommend a Sawzall or Hackzall. I prefer a Hackzall, actually, because they're a little bit smaller and easier to use than a Sawzall in this space. But you want to mark this, and then you can cut through really, really nicely and really cleanly with a nice straight line like that on both sides. So you're going to want to cut on both sides. So mark here and mark here. Now, lastly, always make sure to use a face shield. I actually don't use just eye protection and use a full face shield because you will get hot metal off this. And in general, you've got to be moving your head around underneath, looking on this side as you're cutting through, and then you're probably going to bring your head around and look on this side. So you're going to be getting hot metal coming off this pipe that could potentially hit you in the face. So make sure to wear eye protection at a minimum, and I do recommend a face shield. All right, so let me get this hose clamp on. Let me mark both sides. I'll show you what that looks like, and then we're going to cut the exhaust pipe. All right, guys, so both pipes are marked, as you can tell. We've got here and here. Make sure you've got good, clean, straight lines. This really isn't hard. Make sure you have a good blade, a good clean blade on your Hackzall or Sawzall, and then just cut these pipes. It's really simple. Be careful when you do so. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, guys, so as you can see, we've got nice clean cuts here at this end. So what you're gonna wanna do is start to take this down. So there's a couple of things that I do first. You can take the cross brace off. There are 3 13 millimeters, 1, 2, 3. The deeper set bolts are not part of the cross brace. So go ahead and take all 6 of those off, take the cross brace off and set it aside. Because the pipe itself, as you can see, is not sitting on the cross brace. What it is, though, is it's sitting on the mid-body hangers, which are here and here. And that's a 13 millimeter bolt and a 13 millimeter nut. So what I usually will do is I will take the cross brace off, and then I'll come back up here to the top, where I will take off these 13 millimeter nuts here and here, and there, and there. And then the pipe itself will be loose from the car. The only thing holding it in place will be the mid-body hangers. So it'll be free at the other end with cross brace off. It'll be free up here at the top of the down pipes and the crossover pipe. And then you can undo one hanger on one side and one hanger on the other, and then the whole thing will come down. The mid-body hangers help hold it in place while you take the rest off. All right, so just a quick look on what this looks like. So as you can see with crossover pipe, it's off, and the donut gaskets on a brand new G87 should be just fine, so they're still in place. Don't mess with them. We'll just sink the new pipes up against those. So go ahead and slide out from underneath the car. Go ahead and take the existing pipes out. Now let's take a look at the new pipes. All right, y'all, so I've got the mid-pipe out, and you can see what a difference this is going to make. It takes off the mid-body cats and also the mid-body resonators the whole way down. I always lay the pipes out so I get a good sense of where they go, and also you can see where the hangers go as well, the proper orientation for the hangers. Now, this hanger, all you're going to want to do is work it off the existing post, which is the bottom post right at the moment. What I normally do is when I lay these pipes out, this actually gives me the ability to see the correct orientation, so when I take this off, I can put it back over there in the exact same orientation. So what you're going to want to do, get that hanger off. This other side has a fixed hanger, so you don't have to change anything there. So take that off, transfer it to the new pipe, then crawl underneath the car, and we're going to hang up both sides of these ends back up to the downpipes. All right, so these first pipes are on. This is really simple, and this is the best way to put them on first. Again, you can put your 13 millimeters back here on top. Now, again, keep in mind that when you cinch these down, they go on evenly. If this is sitting at an angle, which it is possible to do, you'll introduce an exhaust leak. So when you tighten these down, make sure it's tightened down evenly. This also doesn't have to be crushed flat at 1,000,000 PSI because these donut gaskets work really, really well and will seal against this pipe, okay? So make sure that these are tightened down evenly. You can use the mid-body hanger to hold it in place, and you can use this fixed hanger to hold this in place on this side for the other pipe. And then you're all good to go. Now, what you're gonna wanna do is there are these clamps that you're gonna wanna slide onto the pipe. You may need to loosen them up a little bit to get on. You probably don't, but sometimes you do. These are 13 millimeter nuts, so you want to slide one on each end. So each end of your back box down there, each end of these pipes here, and then you can take your main pipe and put it up into place, and then just slide these hangers on, and it'll hold the entire pipe in place. So the last thing you'll have to do at that point is just tighten these clamps down. So as you put these clamps on, you want to make sure that they're put into a place where you can get to them really cleanly. They're also not in a place like this. See, this would be up hitting the body. So make sure they're in a place where they're not hanging down really badly. Make sure you can get a tool on them and a 13 millimeter socket, and then just put them in a place where they're not going to vibrate against everything. I usually tend to put them on at about a 45-degree angle or so, about here. There's lots of empty space around them on both sides. They're not hanging down where they might catch on something coming down the car, and they're not going to bang against the body itself. You don't want to introduce any rattles, okay? So go ahead and put all four of these clamps on, hang the pipe in place, and then we're going to tighten these all down. All right, so here we are with the whole pipe in place. So what I will usually do is I will kind of rough measure as I slide the sleeve on. I'll be like, well, the cut is about right here or so. And when I slide the sleeve down, I try to put the cut right in about the middle of the sleeve. Because as it cinches down on both sides, right? We don't want to introduce exhaust leaks or anything. And these clamps are really good for that because they clamp all the way around. But just make sure to get them all set up. As you can see, I've got these set just kind of in a downward position because there's so much clearance here on both sides. That should be good to go. Well, the other thing you want to do is you want to run your hands up the entire exhaust line for fitment. I've got one spot right here that's really tight, but my trick that I always do is I'll hit the pipes. And if it hits metal, you'll hear it. So hitting the pipes really firmly, I'm not getting any metal on metal sounds, so I don't believe the pipes are going to move at all. Now, one trick you can do is that if you do end up in a spot, or let's just say right here, we had a little bit of fitment problem, we don't. But you can always just very carefully with like a plastic trim tool, kind of flatten back this heat shielding just a little bit to give yourself more clearance. That spot down there is pretty tight, but I really don't think the pipe's gonna move. So that will be good. Because last thing you wanna do is have an exhaust leak or introduce a vibration. So make sure to check that out. Once this is all done, you can put the crossbody brace back on. Again, those the three 13 millimeter bolts on each side here and here, all the way around. So go ahead and put that up. Once that's done, you can easily put the car back on the ground or fire it up in the air if you are in a secure place like with Quickjacks and test. I generally suggest that, but only if you think you're gonna have a vibration, which I think we're gonna be okay in this case. So go ahead and put your crossbody brace back on, tighten everything down, and you're done.
All right, guys, so go ahead and clean up and put your tools away. Don't forget, everything you need will be listed in the video description below. Now, this install, as you can tell, is not hard, only takes a few simple tools and won't take you very long to do. And it really does make a big difference in the car. The one thing I really love about this is that it really has both types, right? So you can be in efficient mode, it's a little bit louder, but at those times where you want to be a little bit quieter, you still can be. But you're driving enthusiastically, you want to go in Sport Plus mode, you can flip your valves open. It sounds much more aggressive, like this car should have been from the get-go. So thank you so much to Evolution Racewerks for making such a fantastic product that's so easy to work with. The fitment is just perfect and absolutely on point. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to click like and subscribe. It makes a big difference to my channel, and I would truly appreciate it. And that way you get notifications of upcoming projects, new events, new reviews, you name it. I have a ton of content coming. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next project.